Behind the Shades.
Name is Natalie Beck, and I am married. I have two children, Mia and Jake. My daughter is 19, so she's a sophomore at Penn State. And my son is 15, so he started high school this year. So that was a challenge. So I had one out of the house and one still in the house. And I actually am a nutrition consultant. So I'm a certified nutritionist, and I work with women, like you said, over the age of 40, and really helping them craft their wellness plans, their weight loss plans, getting them in the right mindset for weight loss and navigating the challenges of their life with the crazy hormonal shifts that go on after the age of 40.
So perfect. So why women, not that I'm complaining, but why women over 40?
I think, really it starts probably younger than 40. It probably starts, the later end of 30. But as we start to get into our late 30s and into our 40s, and we start to have these hormonal shifts, and really what happens is we start to lose muscle mass rapidly, and our metabolism starts to decline. And then as our metabolism starts to decline, we're not changing our habits. We're kind of back to what we used to do when we were in our 20s or in our early 30s. Then all of a sudden the weight starts to creep up like out of nowhere. And, our confidence kind of just sort of hits a wall there, and life starts to really take a turn.
So no more yoga pants and tights.
No, you have to start yeah, exactly. And I think that's definitely, a mind shift for women, the changing body.
I know for me, as I mentioned to you, I have a number of friends, all my friends actually, who are women are over 40, and some of them turned 40, let's say during the last 3 years when everyone was on lockdown, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember one of my friends, she was like, Terrain, this is the quarantine 15 that I've gained.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think your metabolism's slowing down.
Yeah. It was really, a lot of it happened during the COVID time because women weren't getting out moving. They were that is something too, not getting in their usual movement. And then the actual eating, the extra eating. And as we start to age, things start to happen with our blood sugar. We can't clear it out the way we used to. And that adds an extra layer of problems as well to, combat the issue of our metabolism. So it's just really, it's a difficult time for women, that age of, 40, 45. It's a crunch time, really. I think things start to kind of snowball for us.
And the women that you're dealing with, I know it's women mostly over 40 and maybe in their 30s they're starting out, but is this like women with like families, like women who are, let's say, post children, they're married, or is this like a combination of single women who may not have the quote unquote baby weight they're trying to deal with, or is this like single women as well as women who are in a relationship and they're trying to figure it out as well?
I think for me personally, I've had all walks. I've had women that are single, and, or I've had a lot of women that are have just recently, found themselves divorced. So they're just recently single. They are dealing as a single parent. I have a lot of women that way too. Working women that just don't have a lot of time. And it's a lot of time issue. I'll be honest with you. The women that I deal with, really, they struggle with finding the time to meal prep, finding the time to work out, finding the actual, their own specific blueprint or roadmap that they need to get to where they want to get to in a reasonable time. And that's the other thing. I think there's so many, quick fixes and fads and things out there. And, we just want that instant gratification. And when it comes to weight loss, the healthy way is the best way. And that's really the way that it's going to be sustainable for them.
I remember there's a time, maybe about a year ago, I think, where I wanted to figure out the different personality types of people so I can navigate and maybe reach them where they are. And I think for a lot of people who are coaching or mentoring, such as yourself, me, and others, we always want to make sure that we're not giving them what we think is best, but necessarily what's giving them what is actually best for them. As you mentioned, right? There's a lot of fads out there, 60-day diet, and you can have a butt like Kim Kardashian, right? Like build the booty, right?
Yeah.
So some of the women I work with now, they're older, they're in their 50s and their 60s.
Huh?
And the reason why I asked the question about single women and women who aren't single, I found that in my experience, the women who have been single a long time, they seem to be able to find a little bit more time to squeeze out of the day, right? Because they don't have the children, they don't have the husband, they don't have the spouse, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So that's why when you mentioned the time, it brought me back to that because there's someone who I'm dealing with who's married, and she comes to me, she's like, Terrain, I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was okay, let's pull out one of my favorite things in the world, Google
Mm-hmm.
Calendar. I
Yeah.
was like, let's track your time. And then she realized she had like 5, 6 extra hours during the day. I was like, once you're aware of the time, you can make better adjustments
Oh.
because our body, we only get one in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Natalie, do you find maybe some difficulty helping the woman understand that there is enough time? We just have to make the time.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an easy, I don't want to say an excuse, but I do think it's something that they fall back on. And I love that you did that. I think I'm going to use that strategy, bring out the Google Calendar so that it's like right in their face, this is how much time you actually really do have. And I think, they don't maybe want to use the time that they actually have because sometimes it's an inconvenient time, either really early in the morning, you may have to make that adjustment and get up a little bit earlier when everyone's asleep, especially for women that have the children or they have, hectic jobs and things like that. You may have to make a sacrifice. And that's what I think it is. I think it's, it's also that mind shift of I have to make a couple different sacrifices. This is not going to be easy. Change isn't easy at all. It never is. And so putting yourself out into that, making yourself get uncomfortable is hard. It's hard stuff. And yeah, I think that there's a lot of excuses at times, but finding that, here is the time that you have, and this is what you need to do. And it's really at some point it becomes, it's the ball's in their court. You know what I mean? So you have to take it and run with it. If you want to, your end goal is something that you really, really want, here's all the tools, here's what I'm giving you. I'm here 100% to support you. But at some point, they have to internalize it and run with it. And I think that's always the sticking point.